Dr. James J.C. Cooley. That's right.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore them or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on 660 AM The Answer in Dallas-Fort Worth.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley, and his guest will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on The Answer San Diego.
The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, can be heard every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on The Answer. Life is full of circles, cycles, phases, and stages. It's your choice to ignore or embrace them. Motivational speaker, author, military veteran, and founder of the J.C. Cooley Foundation, James Cooley and his guests will inspire and equip you to strive for your own greatness and overcome adversities. Listen to The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life, every Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on The Answer.
Yeah. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Yeah. James J.C. Cooley.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's Your Life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley, and we got another absolutely fantastic show coming your way today. We got this guest that's doing so many great things and helping so many folks out, and we're going to get a chance to know a little bit about him and also talk about some of the things that he's doing with his practices and all that. But I'm not going to give it away because you already know that Dr. Michelle Cooley. If I gave away her part, she gonna get me. So, how you doing, Dr. Cooley?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I am excited about this guest. I mean, he's a good friend of mine. I work out with him at the gym, and I tell you, just over the last couple of months, had an opportunity to get a chance to know him. Absolutely fantastic guy. So, Michelle, I want to just start. And let me get this out the way. Whichever platform that you're watching us on, whether you're watching us on E36 Television, Transfer Television, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, and over 84 other live platforms. Welcome to the show. And if you're listening to us on the radio, AM 660, The Answer, out of Dallas, Fort Worth, AM 1170, The Answer, out of San Diego, FM 96.1, The Answer, out of San Diego. Welcome to the show. If you want to be part of the conversation, just go to the comments on whichever platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Michelle, can you do the honors and introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce this absolutely fantastic guest?
Oh, most definitely. So the title of today's show is called Taking Control and Being Responsible for One's Health. And we're having a sit-down discussion with chiropractor, entrepreneur, Dr. Jason Meyer. We're going to discuss the current state of our healthcare system here in the United States, treating the cause of disease versus treating symptoms, functional medicine, metabolic health, and the use of peptides and NAD therapies, and what are degenerative versus regenerative treatments. So Dr. Jason Meyer is a dedicated chiropractor with a profound personal journey that led him to the field of chiropractic care. His passion for helping others stems from a transformative experience. He had at the age of 13 when a surfing accident left him almost paralyzed from spine-related pain. After traditional medical approaches failed to provide relief and surgery was suggested with no guarantees, Dr. Meyer sought the help of a chiropractor. Through chiropractic adjustments, his pain was alleviated and his body was able to heal naturally without the need for medication or surgery. This life-changing encounter inspired Dr. Meyer to pursue a career in chiropractic care. He began his professional journey by studying pre-med at University of Health Sciences and Ventura College in Southern California. He later graduated from Palmer West Chiropractic University in 94. In 95, he established his first practice in Los Angeles. He moved to Texas with his family and has since established several chiropractic and integrated medical offices. Please welcome to the show for the first time, Dr. Jason Meyer.
How you doing, Dr. Miles? How you doing, my good friend?
I'm doing great. Thanks for the introduction. That was great.
Oh, man. Yes, man. This is an absolute pleasure getting you on the show. And when I first asked you a while back, I didn't think that you would come because you did not know me at the time enough, but you was grateful enough to accept that. And here we are. And so besides what Michelle wrote on or read from your bio, can you tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit more about you? What got you so passionate about what you're doing and all the things that you're doing, not all the things, we'll get to them, that you're doing to help people ease their pain?
Sure. I'm going to kind of rehash that because what happened to me as a young man really transformed my life and set me on the path that I'm still on. Michelle read that, but to add to it, I had a serious injury when I was very young and had to be rushed to the hospital. And I learned a lot by going to the hospitals because I ended up in the hospital with severe back pain shooting down into both of my legs and got into the emergency room, and they gave me some painkillers and sent me home that day. And that's what you do when you go to the emergency room and you have pain. I had a reaction to those painkillers where it just gave me really crazy thoughts. So my dad brought me back to the emergency room and they said, well, we think you should see an orthopedist. So my father brought me to an orthopedic surgeon, and this was back in the early 1980s. So there was no MRI technology available yet. So they took some x-rays, and the surgeon's opinion was that I needed what they called exploratory surgery. They were going to go into my back, see what they could fix. And, you know, it was a long time ago, but I remember being very scared at listening to the doctor and my dad saying, well, we don't really want to do that. And the doctor had followed it up and he said, you know, even if we do the surgery, your son is still growing, and we're going to probably have to do more surgeries as he gets older because his spine and bones are still growing. And so my dad decided not to do that. He brought me to another doctor who gave a similar but a little bit different. He agreed that I needed surgery, but he wanted to do a different type of surgery. I don't remember exactly what it was at that time, but my dad brought me home. And for about a year, I was just chronically having back pain, wasn't surfing anymore, which at that time in my life is what I really had a passion for. And about a year into this, my father said, I'm going to bring you to this chiropractor up in Santa Barbara. And I said, what's a chiropractor? My father said, I have no idea. Neither did I, but I really had nothing to lose. And when I went to the chiropractor, he laid me down on he started with a history, like most doctors, but he talked to me for a while. But what really got me is he laid me down on my stomach and he started feeling my back. And I remember my thought, because no doctor had actually put their hands on my back to that point. They had taken x-rays, they had talked to me and sent me home literally with pills, or just telling me I needed surgery. But the most interesting part, and it changed my life, is when he was feeling my back, he didn't ask me any questions. And he ended up with one of his fingers in a spot in my back. And I knew, and somehow he knew, that's where all my pain was coming from. And I was thinking, how did he know that? Chiropractor took some x-rays too, sent me home, brought me back the next day, and didn't say you needed exploratory surgery. We're not sure what it is. He seemed very confident. Honestly, I remember driving home with my father and saying, Dad, that seemed way too simple what he's telling us. And my dad said, yeah, but what do we have to lose? And literally 2 weeks later, I was out of pain for the first time. I already knew when I was 13 that I wanted to be a doctor. I thought I was going to be a neurosurgeon because from a horrible accident my mother had when I was a young child, a neurosurgeon saved my mother's life from a traumatic brain injury that she had. But this was such an eye-opener to me that started my journey into chiropractic. From there, I started working in chiropractic offices, donating time when I was very young. When I got into high school, I started working in chiropractic offices. And then I went straight into chiropractic school. I took the quickest path that I could to become a chiropractor. And then when I got out of school and started doctoring, I started learning even more. And I kept learning. And some of the things that I learned early on was there was a lot that I could do for a lot of people as a chiropractor, but I couldn't do everything. So I started talking to other doctors that were my friends. And many years ago, I started integrating practices where we'd do different types of specialties in one practice. And that's really how I got to this point.
Wow. You know, we're talking today about people taking control and being responsible for their actions and their health. You know, why did you pick that title, and what message that you want immediately to let people know that's watching it? We got about 2 minutes before the break.
Okay. So that's a great question. We'll probably have to continue it, but really my goal is I'm a public speaker. That's what I do with most of my time. We, unfortunately, in the United States, and when I talk about the United States because this is where we live in a severely broken healthcare system. But we generally don't know that. I've been seeing it my whole career for 31 years. Our healthcare system hasn't been getting better. It's been getting worse. And when we go to our doctors, no matter what doctor we go to, we rely on them to give the safest, most effective, most conservative treatment. I say this during my talks, and I always make a joke and I say, you know, why doesn't anybody ever stop me and say, well, doctor, of course, that's common sense. Why wouldn't you start with the safest and most effective treatment? But many times in our current healthcare system, that's the opposite of what we do. And later on, people are looking for these things that we currently call alternative treatments, but they're really the answer to treat people. Why wouldn't you start with conservative treatments and then go to the more radical treatments first? If you go, James, just to give you an example before we go, if you go to 5 different doctors with the same problem, how many different diagnoses and answers do you think you're going to get?
Going to get 5 different answers. I mean, or even maybe even more.
Yeah, you may.
But hold that thought. We got to take a station break.
Okay.
And whichever platform you're watching this on, if you want to be part of this conversation, just go to the comments. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we will get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Ain't that one party, y'all? It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley.
Welcome to Viridian Christian University, where faith and learning come together to transform lives. At VCU, we believe that education is more than just academics. It's about fostering a community of growth, integrity, and purpose. Whether you're pursuing a bachelor's, master's, or doctorate, VCU offers flexible, affordable, and 100% online degree programs that cater to your busy life. Our innovative platform provides a personalized learning experience, empowering you to thrive in today's ever-evolving world. Join a global community of learners guided by an experienced faculty who are committed to your success. With VCU, you're not just earning a degree, you're preparing for a future that integrates faith, leadership, and service. Viridian Christian University, educating with purpose, transforming lives. Learn more at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I'm sitting here having a discussion with my good friend, Dr. Jason Meyer, and chiropractor, entrepreneur, doing a lot of great things. I love his the way he put his story in the first segment, and now we're talking about right now the title of the show, taking control and being responsible for one's health. A lot of times we don't take control of our own health. We let other people tell us what we need to be done. And sometimes we find ourselves in situations, circumstances where it takes a while to come back from that with the right doctors. Case in point, this doctor right here, Dr. Myers. So the question I had asked is, what roles does a person need to take to be responsible for their own health? And I think, Jason, you were talking about that a little bit. I want to pick it back up from there.
Yeah, thank you. So, James, there's so many angles we could take this off on, but the bottom line is right now in the United States of America, we are a symptom-based pharmaceutical healthcare system, meaning you have a symptom, you go to your doctor, and you get a pill for that symptom. If they don't think it's working, you might call your doctor back. They might just up the dose, or they might put you on another pill. So it's pill, symptom. And when you treat symptoms and you don't ever get to the cause of your condition or your disease, what do you think the chances are of ever actually becoming healthy again? There, you could answer, or I'll answer it for you. It's very, very seldom. So when we go to our doctor, again, we rely on them to give us the best treatment, but they don't always. A matter of fact, I have a son right now who is just starting medical school, and he's grown up in my household, so he knows the way I think. But I told him, when you go to school, the schools are going to teach you drug, symptom. And to me, and I never want to offend anybody, And I used to tell people that this was my opinion, but now it's my reality after 31 years. If that's all you're doing as a doctor, you're not really being a good doctor. And there's one thing I can tell you, and everybody out there should know this. I know for a fact that many people out there that are listening have fantastic doctors. And I know a lot of you have good doctors. And I know some of you have fair doctors and some of you have bad doctors. Just like every other profession, just because we're a doctor doesn't mean we're giving you the best treatment, the safest treatment, or that we take the time to treat people. So James, I have a question for you. As Americans, how healthy are we as Americans compared to citizens of every other first world country? Are we the healthiest country? Are we second? Do you know where we stand right now?
Well, I mean, I've been to like 76 countries, and we the fattest. I can only tell you that. And
Yeah.
For as healthy, I don't think we're in the top 10.
We're not, and 75% of us are overweight right now in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And if you compare us as citizens of the United States on overall health and wellness, we're dead last in the world. But let me give you some statistics, okay? Because you really have to look at why is this. In the United States, we take approximately 50% of all the pharmaceuticals made on planet Earth, but we make up approximately 4.2% of the population. So we get a lot of pills. And I heard this years ago, and I'm very analytical. That statistic isn't a bad or good statistic in itself. So if you think about it, it could go either way. As Americans, we have access to all these pills. So if they're making us healthier, then this is a good thing. Thank God we live in America and we have access to these pills. So then you have to kind of start looking at how healthy are we, and are these pills making us healthier? We spend more money per person in the United States than any of the other country by a long shot. And it's been on the news a lot. We pay more for those pills too than every other country out there, even though the majority of them are made right here. So we're spending more, we're taking more pills, but we're dead last in healthcare. And so when I go out, my job is to help people understand that when you go to your doctor, although they're telling you one thing, many times there's other choices, and it's all about choices. And if you came to me, I don't practice anymore, but you will see me in my offices. I used to say this to all of my patients. I used to say, if you're going to become my patient, you have to take some responsibility for your own health. You have to be 51% more than me, but I'll meet you 49% of the way, because I can't personally make anybody healthy. I can set them on the path. I can tell them what they need to do. But if they don't do it, all I can do is give them a little push, and then it's up to them. But that's not what we practice in this country. It's not what we preach. If you look at TV every night, you ever see commercials that say, if you exercise and eat better, your diabetes is going to get better? Or do we see pills that you can take that artificially lower blood sugars and kind of just keep you status quo?
Wow. So how do we go about ensuring and influencing others to take care of their own health and also reach out? A lot of people, just like you mentioned, pills, shots, all of that, and they don't believe in the holistic approach on a lot of things. You know, I believe in both myself, but if it's something that out there that's going to ease the pain, or rather than taking medicine and getting a shot, I would have to consider that. You know, but a lot of people won't even think about considering that, because it's like, that's not real. That's, you know, I'm not going to take those weeds and stuff like that. What would you tell a person that might be thinking that way?
Yeah, well, there's several things. First of all, it's all about education. Okay, because our system is so broken right now, doctors, even if they wanted to, don't have time to educate people. I'm in 100% agreement. There's a time and place for everything out there. We just slant one way, which is towards the pharmaceuticals too much in this country. And from what I've seen, my reality is that's why we're a sick country. Let's take an example. Let me give you a really easy example, and we'll probably come back to this in our talk. Let's say, James, that you wake up and you like to jog in the morning, okay? And you notice that when you're jogging, you start to get some pain and stiffness in your left knee, okay? And it comes and goes. You get up and you can jog, and after about 10 minutes, it goes away. So you don't go to your doctor and you keep doing it. But you notice over time that pain doesn't go away. So you call your doctor, and the first place you go is to your primary doctor, where most people go. Again, 2 of my offices are primary care offices. We do much more. But in most primary care offices, you come in and you have pain in your knee. What is the most common first treatment for that pain? What do you think? I was going to have you answer, James, but I can answer. It's generally something to relieve the pain because your doctors don't want you in pain, right? Would you agree?
I agree. But just lost. I think I took an internet hit. I don't know if you can still hear me.
I can hear you. I can't see you.
Oh yeah. It'll come back on. But I totally agree, and I apologize. I mean, we took that hit.
So let's take this a little further, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Your doctor gives you a painkiller. Let's say it works. It gets rid of the pain. The pain is a symptom. Okay. Are there any painkillers that doctors give? And just answer this, that let's say that the problem is that you have some osteoarthritis in your knee. Are there any painkillers that slow down, stop, or actually help that osteoarthritis heal?
I wouldn't say that the painkillers would do that. They do have some stuff out there. Just like you already know my story. They gave me that metasol. I don't know what you call it. It's the steroid stuff.
Yeah.
And it worked.
So let's talk about that. This is the perfect example. I have a whole talk on this. Let's stay with this. This is perfect. Okay. So just follow me. And if you don't mind, just answer whatever you think. Okay. So let's say they put a steroid shot into your knee. Very common treatment for what we're talking about. Okay. And you just said it worked, right?
Well, it wasn't a shot. It was the pills.
Okay. So let's think
temporarily, but once 3-4 days after you ran out the pack, it's tough. I mean, I'm like right now I'm feeling pain.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this because I'm gonna give you all your choices when we talk. But let's go through some of it right now, okay?
Okay.
So let's say that it worked and it gave you some temporary relief. That's what we call palliative care. You take a pill, you don't feel the symptom, but my point is the problem still there underlying?
Problem still there.
Yes. So when a doctor gives you a treatment, and let's say it's an injection or a pill, you should know the purpose of why they're giving it to you. Is it to give you palliative relief, meaning while you're on it, you don't feel the pain, and when it wears off, you have to do it again? Is it to heal your problem? What's the purpose of it? Because if you know that, you now can make better choices, in my opinion. So let's just take it back another step, okay? I don't want to get religious or anything, but when God made us, God gave us pain for a reason, and none of us like it, so it must have a good reason, okay? At least we think it does. So and you get pain in that knee, and we're just using it as an example. What's that pain telling you?
That pain telling you that the problem is not resolved.
It's still there, right?
Still there.
And pain does. It tells us where there's a problem, so we can do something about it. Now we go. You take some steroids, okay? And the pain goes down temporarily, so you go out and jog. Now, being that we talked about that problem is still in the knee, even though you're feeling the pain, is your knee going to get more damaged or less damaged over time?
I think it's going to get more damage.
Yeah, because we've just taken away the natural mechanism in our body that helps protect us from damaging it. Okay? And when that happens, and this is common, okay, it might not be a steroid, it might be an NSAID, which is, something that you could buy at Walgreens or CVS. That would be your acetaminophen, your Tylenols, your Aleve, your ibuprofens, no Motrins. If that doesn't work, it might be a more powerful prescription medication from your doctor, or it might be an injection into that knee. So let's say that they do that, and let's say that it gives you relief and you feel better for a year. Is the problem still there?
Problem's still going to be there.
It is, because none of these drugs, they're not meant to heal us. That's not what they do. They bring inflammation down, which gives pain. Okay. And they can bring the pain down, but the problem is still there. Because in this case, we just said it, we made it general. It's osteoarthritis. Okay. The joint space is getting too narrow. The bones are getting closer together. It's putting pressure on the cartilage in the knee. Maybe it's putting little micro tears in the beginning. And your body's telling you that. Okay. But our system is set up to mask that pain. And if that's all we do, what are the chances that that knee's going to get worse, over time?
Well, it's probably going to get worse unless we put the right things in our bodies to help the certain tissues and certain cells grow back.
Exactly. And we can't always do that. There are some treatments we can talk about that help the body to heal nowadays. But the bottom line is that's going to progress generally almost 100% of the time if all we do are take pills. And if you're looking for that, that's a choice. And I'm not against it. Everybody should do what they want with their own body. Okay?
Hold that thought. We're going to take a station break.
All right.
We're going to come back. This is interesting. And if you want to be part of the conversation with your platforms you're watching this on, just go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, or hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
A Black Man's Point of View is the newest Amazon.com #1 release and bestseller book from author Dr. James J.C. Cooley, featuring the perspective from 11 other contributing authors. In A Black Man's Point of View, Dr. James Cooley unpacks his thoughts and personal experiences about the challenges, stereotypes, and feelings of self-worth that many black men face today due to a 400-year ancestry rooted in slavery and colonization. Yet, how so many black men move forward despite this history. Most importantly, A Black Man's Point of View conveys that all men, regardless of race, creed, or color, are capable of love, respect, and dignity. Described as a map to a greater life from the heart of a man who's experienced life's misfortune and harsh conditions, James shows us how beliefs, convictions, and a healthy mentality can help propel a life worth living. A must-read for all. Order your copy of A Black Man's Point of View by author Dr. James J.C. Cooley today from Amazon.com or wherever books are sold.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and thoroughly enjoying this conversation that I'm having with Dr. Jason Myers. And we're getting ready to get deep into this one. because he's getting ready to give us some alternatives to traditional medicine. I'm not just taking a shot, just taking pills, just doing all these things when the body sometimes reject a lot of that stuff. So we're going to talk natural with this great doctor right here. So I want to pick it back up with that, Jason.
Okay. I'm going to talk a little bit more while our system's broken, and then what we need, what we can do, and the difference. I like using examples because they relate to people. We're going to use a low back and a pinched nerve next, and I'll explain that to go through it.
That's exactly what I got.
I know. It's what I had too. So, it's something I've been treating for 31 years. I want to bring up a couple more things because I think it's important. Our system currently, when you go to your doctors, if you've noticed in the last 10, 20 years, unfortunately, doctors are seeing more and more people giving us less and less time with our doctors, because I believe every doctor that becomes a doctor, it's not easy to become a doctor, means well, and they want to help people. And what many people out there don't understand is doctors' hands are really tied because the insurance companies are running really healthcare nowadays. And what they've done is, I started in 1994, and it doesn't matter what type of doctor you are out there. In 1994, the insurance companies used to let doctors do what they needed to do. It didn't matter if it was your dermatologist, your surgeon, or who it was. Nowadays, what they're doing is they're decreasing the type of treatments and the amount of treatments doctors can do. They're decreasing what they pay us. And so what doctors are doing is they have to see more and more patients, and that's why your primary care doctors' offices are flooded. It's why you sometimes have to wait 2, 3, 4 weeks for a problem that needs to be seen that day. And that's why doctors don't have the time to sit down and talk to you. Our current system has 135 different specialties. And when you go to a doctor and you go to a primary care, they're supposed to sit down, listen to you. And I can tell you, James, what you tell me as a patient, if I really sit down and listen, gives me the best information I'm going to get. Now, I'm going to go do my testing. I might send you out for some diagnostic testing, but really what the patient says, if you really listen, tells me a lot. We can talk about that in low backs. And what happens is it comes up to this broken system where we don't get enough time with the doctor. We're seeing so many different doctors, and none of them ever have the time to all talk about you and kind of say, you know what, let's all put our mind together and see what's going on. It's actually what my offices are all about. It's what I formed. So let's just take like a low back problem. And I'm going to give you the most common case of low back problems, okay? Low backs are hard. Even when I do seminars and have pictures, it's hard to understand them. So I'll do my best while we're just talking verbally. If you have a back, well, let's start with the brain. Our brains is our control center of all of our bodies. And the way that our brain communicates with us is through the nervous system. So our central nervous system consists of our brain and our spinal cord. And our spinal cord goes from our brain down in between the bones in our back called our vertebrae. In between each of those bones, our nerves come out. They're called peripheral nerves. These are the nerves in your feet, your legs, your hands, and your arms. And that's how we get messages from our body to our brain and from our brain to our body. It tells us everything. Now, if we get a pinched nerve, okay, and that could be, I hate using big terms, okay? So describe it first. A pinched nerve would be like you are filling a bucket with a hose and there's water filling it up, and then you put your foot on that hose, and the more pressure you put on that hose, the less water that comes out. Well, when a message leaves the brain and goes to your right foot or your left foot or your hand, it's electrochemical. There's electricity going through it. And if you look at nerves in the body, they look like wires. So if you get a pinched nerve, it's a mechanical problem. Now, that mechanical problem could be from disc material hitting the nerve, which could be called a herniated disc. If that herniated disc is taking up space where that nerve exits between the bones or where it goes through a hole, they might call that foraminal stenosis. If it is taking space in your spinal cord, they call that spinal stenosis. It just means there's not enough room and it's putting mechanical pressure onto the nervous system. And wherever those nerves go, you now have the potential to have problems. So let's say that you get a herniated disc in your low back and it's putting pressure on the nerve root that goes to your right foot. Now, if this is in your low back, they might call it sciatica, because the last three nerves in our back join together to form what's called the great sciatic nerve. And when you have this, everybody presents differently, meaning you, James, might have pain or numbness on the bottom of your foot, but you're not having any back pain. Or you might have tremendous back pain and no pain in your foot. Or you might have some numbness in the back of your leg, or it might feel like you have a cramp deep in your buttock area. But it's that same nerve. It just presents differently. And that's a whole, again, we could talk about this all day. So what happens is it's a mechanical problem. They give you some pills. And those pills are supposed to take enough inflammation down that it takes or relieves some of the pressure off of that nerve. Okay. Am I making sense so far? I know it's a lot always. Oh, I lost your voice.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
You're making a whole lot of sense. This is interesting. I want you to continue.
Okay.
Because you educated me big time.
So we go in, and I oversimplify everything. Again, it's much more complicated, but this is the hole that it's going through, and here's your nerve, and it goes down to your right foot, but you have something in there, disc material, squeezing against it. And now, hence, you've got burning pain in your toe. It could be, or might be down your entire leg. Okay. They give you a pill, but this nerve is being squished against here. Okay. Or they might shoot cortisone right into that area so you don't feel it. Cortisone is a very powerful anti-inflammatory. It's a whole nother discussion, but it can come with a host of side effects sometimes. So you have to know that so you can weigh the benefits and not. And let's say that you go to your doctor. I'm going to run through this because I think we're going to run out of time. So I'm going to go more quickly.
We got about 3 minutes before the break.
Yeah, I know. I can talk and talk, James. So let's say you go to your doctor. Your doctor says pain in the foot. They give you pain pills. Okay. You take the pain pills. They don't work. And they say, well, you know what? I'm going to send you to a specialist for your foot. That's called a podiatrist. They specialize they're experts from the knee down. You go there and they're like, you know what? Let's shoot some cortisone into the foot. You do that for a year and it doesn't get any better. You end up in our office, and this is a common thing in our office. Sometimes 2-3 years later, your doctor diagnosed it as neuropathy, but it's really a pinched nerve, which is a little bit different, same symptoms. They're giving you gabapentin for this, which is a common drug for neuropathy, and it's just not getting any better. Might take the symptoms away temporarily, but it's not getting any better. It's getting worse. You come into our office, and we first of all, we do a complete exam, orthopedic exam, physical exam. We find out, well, wow, we think this is coming from your back. We do an MRI. We see there's a disc herniation. And now we go and treat the cause in the back, not the symptom in the foot, and you start getting better. I can't tell you how common this is in our office every day. We see this in one of our offices. In our offices, one of the differences, or maybe let me stay on this and then we have some time when we come back.
Yes, we got another whole segment.
Okay, I'll save it for that. But this is the most common thing where people go, and many times before they even get to us, they're talking about surgery. And unfortunately, I ended up, another story, when I was 33, I used to work in hospitals doing what are called manipulation under anesthesias, where people that had severe back problems, we'd put them out cold, an anesthesiologist, and I'd go break up the adhesions. And I was doing that on somebody. They slipped off the table. I caught them in my original herniation in my back that I had been under control for over 20 years, slipped out, and I ended up having to have surgery at that time. And I bring that up because when I talk, a lot of times people think I'm anti-surgery, but I'm not anti-anything. The bottom line is back surgeries are 50-50. 50% of them work and 50% don't. So you only do them if it's a last resort, as it was for me.
Last resort. Hold that thought. We got to station break. I'm going to come back. This is interesting. And when we come back, Dr. Michelle Cooley has joined us. And and she's going to rapid fire with Jason because she's going to ask a lot of questions.
Good.
So if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching us on, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Yeah.
Christian University, we believe education is more than just a degree. It's a pathway to a purpose-driven life. Whether you're advancing your career, pursuing a passion, or building a new future, VCU's 100% online programs give you the flexibility to learn on your terms, anywhere, anytime. With expert faculty, personalized mentorship, and a faith-centered approach, you'll gain the skills, knowledge, and leadership you need to make a lasting impact. VCU offers bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees, each designed to empower you for success in today's fast-changing world. Join a global community of believers, learners, and leaders. Ready to start your journey? Viridian Christian University, transforming lives, empowering futures. Visit us at ViridianChristianUniversity.com. That's ViridianChristianUniversity.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
Let's go. It's the James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James J.C. Cooley. All right.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, just an absolute pleasure chatting with Dr. Jason Meyer and the education that he is in. That we all are getting, because I have never had a doctor explain the things that he's doing, because normally in a doctor's office, you only get 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes. And he just gave you a lot of great nuggets. And I hope you all listen. If you want to be part of the show, it's not too late. Just go to the comments on whichever platform you're watching. So ask any questions. I promise you we'll get you an answer. So Jason, I want to get back to what you were saying with the education, with some of the things that you all are doing that maybe other doctors might not be doing to help patients.
So, James, let's talk. I'm going to finish up with that pinched nerve.
Yes.
And then we can talk about a couple other things. If you have a pinched nerve, as we talked about, it's a mechanical problem. And the best way to treat it is mechanically, meaning to try and decompress that nerve. Chiropractic, I won't say it's gotten a bad rap, but many people are scared of chiropractor still, which makes absolutely no sense. Chiropractic is the number one treatment to treat this type of problem. Spinal decompression is a treatment that is super effective at decompressing that nerve, giving you that can give long-term results. Physical therapy is conservative, and it's also one of the best treatments that you can do for this type of problem. Or in general, what we do in our office is a combination of all the above to get real results. Our joints in our body, whether it be in our back, our knees, our hips, stay healthy only in one way, and it's through proper motion. So exercising our joints and staying healthy and keeping joints healthy is the best ticket to long-term health and longevity. And I'm not saying you have to jog. You can walk, you can do aerobics, you can do yoga, you can walk in a pool, you can sit in a chair and just use a chair to exercise. But our joints in our body, all of our joints, get very little blood supply. And blood is how we bring in oxygen and nutrients. Our joints stay healthy. They have fluid in them by motion, by pumping that fluid through them. And so motion is just about everything when it comes to the joints. Other things, just what you were just asking, James, when it comes to overall health, let's look at two of the fastest growing ailments in our country right now, type 2 diabetes and heart disease. We pump lots and lots of money into research and pharmaceuticals every year, yet diabetes and heart disease are still on the rise year after year. And more of us catch it and more of us die. Matter of fact, if you even look 30 years ago, we see that there was a lot less than 30 years, a lot less of this happening. Diabetes, most people don't know, for many people is controllable through diet and exercise. Now, when you're first diabetic, the pills can help you get to that point. But if you change your diet, and there are countless books you can read, you can just Google the different types of diets and what to eat and what not to eat. I do give a talk on this. And the better you do this, the healthier you're going to become. I always make a joke when I do my health talk. And I tell people, if you come in here, because we treat neuropathies, one of our specialties. I've actually been working with neuropathies and radiculopathies, which is a pinched nerve. I don't like using big words, but I know what the doctors are saying, for 31 years. If you change your diet, and what I was about to say, what I tell people is if you come in and we treat you and you're getting better, okay, and you keep drinking your 12-pack of soda every day or every week, your problem's going to come back every single time because that's what's causing it. Type 2 diabetes isn't something that we're born with. It's something that we get over years and years and years of abuse. And in the United States, it's not our faults. They're putting things into our foods that at the metabolic level, which is the cellular level, build toxins up in our system so our bodies can't function properly. We are just a symphony of trillions of cells, a group of cells with the same function we call an organ. And if our cells aren't functioning properly due to abuse, then things like diabetes, heart disease, and all disease have the ability to flourish better.
You know what? I just want to, and I know we got a couple of minutes before.
Sorry.
You need like 5 hours, actually, Dr. Meyer, to talk about all this. But I had some issues with my back, and I'm just going to summarize it. Basically, it's hereditary as well as improper form. So it was a combination of things, especially if you work out at the gym. You have to watch your form. You have to watch the amount of weight. Just because someone else is and you're trying to keep up with somebody else, the fast they're going or the weight, it may not be suitable for your body. My point being is it took me over a year to get rid of the pain completely. I went to PT, went to a spine specialist. I did everything. I did Pilates. But the best thing I did was I took the lessons that my PT people showed me. They printed it out, and I still do those stretches every day. Therefore, taking control of your health. You have to, and I guess my question to you is, why is it so difficult for people to take control of the health, especially when they've been provided the proper tools? You're diabetic. These are things you need to check your blood sugar level every day. Avoid this or hook up with a nutritionist, exercise. Why is it so hard to do that? And I understand when you get diagnosed with diabetes at a later age, it is hard to break lifelong habits of eating. It is hard.
Yes, it is.
But you got to start somewhere. You look at where you want to be and what you have to do. So in your opinion, why is it so hard for people to do what has been presented to them?
You got 2 minutes left, Jason.
Michelle, you just summed it up beautifully. Thank you. When what you did in the gym is just the epitome of what I'm trying to portray to people. It's so hard because we are bred from little kids that we're supposed to go to the doctor when we have a little cough or a cold. We're not taught that we have a very powerful immune system, and that if you're a healthy human being, there's very few things you need to go to the doctor for. I have 3 children. I've been dragging my children to the gym since they were infants, And my oldest, my young boy, when I used to bring him after about a year and a half, he used to say, I don't want to go because I put him in childcare. I had my second boy that used to fight with me. Dad, we're not going, boys, you're coming with me. Then I finally had my little girl so we could stop having kids. And I used to bring the three of them there, and they didn't want to go. This is what I used to tell my kids. I used to say, look, you guys, I do this because someday I'm going to be 70, 80. I want to be 90. I want to be 100 years old. And even when I'm 70, 80 years old, I want you to drop off my grandkids. And I'm not going to sit in the backyard in a chair because I can't do anything with them. I'm going to go get in the car. And we lived in California at the time, and I'm going to bring them up and go skiing with them. It's about education. It's about want. It's about wanting to be healthy. Think about this before we go. Okay. What is the most important things in life? There's two to me. And to me, it's health and family. Because if you lost your health today, you got diagnosed with something, that's all you're going to focus on at that point is being healthy again. And everything's going to take a second seat.
You're absolutely right about that. And Michelle and I talked about that earlier today. You know, that family and health so important. You know, Dr. Meyer, I want to invite you back to the show if you have time.
Absolutely. I can talk and talk.
This is absolutely fantastic conversation that we have. So 30 seconds or less, what are some takeaways that you want our viewers to take from this great discussion?
Sure. You guys, finally right now, we're starting to talk about health. People are starting to go to what we call alternative types of therapies, to nutrition. Just watch what you eat. If there's artificial things in the things you eat, for instance, they're not good for you. Your body doesn't recognize them. They don't exist in nature. We made them.
How can they get in touch with you if they want to enlist your services?
So you can come to me. It's drjm at myhealthdoctors.com spelled out, or I'm also drjm at aol.com. That's Dr. JM. World Medical Group is my office. I also have Chiropractor DFW and Model Wellness. These are all offices that do what we're talking about. We never really even got into there. But what I can tell you is I never know if we can help somebody if you come to one of my offices. We can't help everybody. But what I can tell you is I've got some of the most caring, best staff, and we're set up to take time with patients. We listen to our patients. And if you want, just go onto our websites and go onto Google and see what other people say about us.
Well,
we're not perfect, but we're good.
I'd like to thank you so much. And Michelle, we got to get him back on for taking the time to come on the show. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners out there that always tune into the James Cooley Show Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time and 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. You all know my motto, always, always, always dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. It's your life, and we'll see you then.